and welcome to the Contraindication exercise project for biomechanics. Today, we'll be going over the dumbbell fly and some pros and cons about this exercise. Let's begin. When speaking about the dumbbell fly, we must first go over some anatomy. So, when doing this exercise, we are primarily focusing on the chest. So, in the pec major, the origin is in the clavicle and the sternum, and the insertion is in the lateral head. Now, for the pec major, some movements that are involved with this exercise are flexion, horizontal adduction, and medial rotation. Now, this is the clavicular portion of this movement. The sternoclavicular portion is in charge of downward movements of the arm, medial rotation, and adduction. Now, let's see how this exercise looks. Let's begin. Now, there are some pros and cons to this exercise. Let's go over the pros first. Now, when performing this exercise, it has been found in EMG activation that it is a high percentage when it comes to the dumbbell fly. Why? Because it gets a good stretch in the muscle and a very nice contraction, if you think about it at the top of the portion. Now, some cons about this exercise, we have to look at anatomy a little bit. Now, the shoulder, specifically the glenohumeral joint, is more of a ball and socket joint. Now, when performing this exercise, since our shoulders are not retracted and held tight, what's gonna happen is that we get into this portion here where the head of the humerus is locking out on the sides of this ball and socket joint. Why? Because we flare our elbows once we perform the exercise. Now, what usually tends to happen, what you'll see, is some labrum tears, some strains in the shoulder joint, and some possible pec minor tears. Now, when doing this exercise, although you do feel a good stretch, the risk to benefit ratio is very high. Now, given this information, there are still some exercises that we can do to get a really nice stretch and contraction on the chest. Let's see what those exercises are. So one of the first substitute exercises that we can do is a variation of the chest press. This is called the side chest press. Now, in this motion, what we're doing is we're simply sitting down normally on the chest press, as we would, and we're turning sideways. Now, the reason why we're gonna do that is as follows. We're gonna keep our elbows nice and tucked, and we're gonna press straight out. Now, the primary purpose of a dumbbell fly is to stretch and flex the muscles of the inner chest. In this motion, we're contracting the muscle fibers of the inner chest to a very high degree, hence the twisting of the side. Now, mind the bicep to chest touching, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna contract to a point where you can't go anymore. So make sure not to hyperflex that area.
All right, the second variation we're gonna show you as an alternative to the dumbbell fly is a variation of a cable crossover. Now you see she's still getting the horizontal adduction that we're looking for in a crossover, or in a dumbbell fly, sorry. Except she's not putting her shoulder in a bad position, so there's no impingement like you would see in a dumbbell fly. She's also getting a little bit of medial rotation in there, as you can see when she twists her arm like that, and some extension, or some adduction when she brings her arm down. So you're getting all the motions you want out of the pec major minus the impingement you would get from a dumbbell fly.